Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Dawn of War Dark Crusade.
I'm S.
I'm T.
And now we are ending our turn. And then we will be destroying Gorguts. The orcs will no longer have a foothold on Kronus. It appears to be a Pangea plan now again. There might be stuff be in the east. But it looks like all the important things are in the east.
Or in the east, it can be out north.
Now Gorguts controls. It looks like he doesn't control any territory except there.
So, let's take them.
We will be shutting up after we
we will be waiting another turn.
we don't have the requisition to properly attack. You see, this is is what you can call a boss battle in Dawn of War. It's the main forces. Once you defeat this, the faction is gone. It's no longer in play. As such, they are challenging. Oh, and it seems that Gorguts wants to fight.
That's okay, because I think we're one defense away from a new war gear.
We'll make this all the easier.
What do you want?
Wow, look at that melee.
Do you hear the voices too?
I command the darker powers.
Anything for the great powers.
As we built up in the last episode, we are in a superior position compared to the enemy. This is the IG's main strength when it comes to holding land. While it takes them, it can be hard. It's hard fought to gain any land. It's in the IG's best interest to control the majority of the map, to keep a hold on in case the enemy attacks. Then to use the requisition from the enemy assault to replace the casualties you will inevitably sustain. IG have a lot of men, but they have a tendency to bleed off very quickly. I blame the Imperium supply lines. They really need to work on that.
My abilities are at your disposal.
At least it's something I...
The true power is here.
No,
My abilities are at
if
your disposal.
the Imperium of Man was like a total war game, right?
You could
If Warhammer was like a total war
know.
game, 40k.
I'm kind
Imperium
of
moved on
disappointed
very
there's
hard.
no physical difference between these two.
There should be.
Guide
shouldn't there?
me wisely.
The stronger one, he should have like fancy. Minor details make or break a game. They help with immersion.
Yes, master.
Like Fallout New Vegas. We actually, funnily enough, lived in Vegas. T here is born there. And I lived there for quite a while.
Bless us, great one.
But until I was just a little baby at 5 years old.
And, Fallout New Vegas looks a lot like Vegas. Granted, it's about in the 60s version.
The roads are nicer.
The strip still looks the same. West Side still looks the same.
Crusade.
Freeside. West Side,
And,
Freeside.
And though I have to say most of the casinos in Fallout aren't those casinos, though were real, don't actually exist.
They have been since torn down and replaced, and the ones that replaced them have since been torn down and replaced. However, the premise of Vegas is the same for the most part, except now Vegas hosts more family-friendly things other than gambling, which have ironically caused its income. The more you know. But yes, little details like that, you know, like the terrain being very realistic, make a game better. I wouldn't give them the problem because they're turning into shrimp. Now,
The destroyer!
keep telling yourself that, buddy.
That is the way to
That'll
hell.
help you sleep in.
Destroy! Destroy! It is as though 1,000 miles cry.
Do the enemies start out with all the war gear?
I don't think they do.
They have to earn it too.
Oh, I just don't think they have war gear.
How very odd. No, it's no thing I'd put in if I ever got my hand. If I ever, you know,
No, it doesn't look like Gorguts has any war gear.
like, if I ever got my hands on a title like this, right, I would definitely work on that. the details part of it.
Wow, Kronus just got destroyed.
Plasma guns are nice, huh? It's what makes the IG infantry actually be able to stand up in a firefight.
Oh, don't trust me, I remember.
Yes. Problem with the IG is that they're based. You have to spend lots of resources upgrading squads, and you have to get a decent size.
Overtaking me. It is a good pain.
See how quickly they drop.
They're much more dangerous than Tau. That's dangerous.
No, Tau probably could have handled that in like 3 shots.
No, I mean they're the cloak for the cloaking. Tau don't have a lot of things that can actually see invisible units. They have those winged things. That can.
And Pathfinders.
Yeah. Nothing to upgrade them though, to get that.
No, they start with that. That's kind of actually their kind of whole shtick.
But for a faction that focuses a lot on stealth, they don't do particularly well if faced with it.
No, it's good.
The hunter do not like does not their hunters do not take well to being the hunted.
Purpose.
That's because that's against the natural order of things, supposedly.
Are you sure?
How very odd, in my opinion. A bear should worry about being hunted.
The weak fight back.
A bear does worry about it.
I don't think wolves need to be worried about something. Bears have been hunted, but not they have a big make. They're attacking with 2 different squads again.
It will be done. I command the darker powers. The ancient powers of chaos know where they be. You could possibly know.
It seems to me that the Chaos's main arm, though, is the Space Marines. That's like their main force.
Yeah, but if you played the third-person game, I barely had any actual chaos.
That's because Fallen Guard are not actually because they're unlike the Imperium guards. Chaos has a tendency to Chaos can look like a supply depot. I don't know, a lot of these powers in this game are kind of lackluster. The Doombolt's pretty nice. I like the Psychos too. And the Farseer's got some nice moves. There's an upgraded version of the Human Psycho. Because her stuff doesn't really cause this. She can do it without coming. Well, you see, the Human Psychos have a chance to cast it on themselves. Elda. They can cast their psychic spells without having to worry about hitting themselves. Say whatever you want about them, but at least they know what they're doing when it comes to psychics. Even though they are jerks.
Yeah, they're kind of not nice.
And then again,
then I know who's gonna go attack the second one of those guys.
Do you hear the voices too?
sorry guys for the lack of really commentary. We're still
Yep.
Warhammer has surprisingly little to talk about once you get past the main books, just more speculation. I feel like we've covered Chaos' speculation in out of the war.
Chaos is our
Because despite being around for so long and being so extensive, there's kind of not actually going on. Not much, really.
animal into the fray! We need enemies. Destroy! Destroy!
I'm not just going to get on.
Take us to battle! Take us to battle! Chaos
I command the darker powers.
As usual, they disappeared into the warp, I assume.
Maybe they surrendered. What would chaos infused orcs look like?
Consume us!
Have orcs ever actually fallen to chaos?
Is the
Or
way to
joined?
hell.
I'm sure they can.
I command the darker powers.
Do you hear the voices too? Take us to battle.
Odd, I've never actually seen it.
We
Media.
are the destroyer. Crush, kill, and destroy. It is
There's a lot of potential in Warhammer, but it's not really
pain. Of course.
I feel like it's a bit
do your bidding.
narcissistic. Is that the right word?
We see the target.
It's a bit.
Everyone's evil all
is
the
the
time.
way to
There's
hell.
such things. Yeah, it's a very nihilist series. And what the problem is with nihilism? It usually makes for a shit narrative because it usually doesn't go anywhere as a story. Now, I'm all for serious and dark and terrible people fighting terrible people, but there's a difference between people being bad people and everything just being terrible for everyone all the time for the sake of it. For the sake of it being terrible for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, you can have it with good guys and bad guys and still have the grim, dark narrative in the 42nd century war.
The problem is, those kind of narratives never go anywhere because nothing ever happens, because nothing ever changes, because everyone's the same.
Everyone's evil. And there's no one really to root for such as uncontrollable evil.
Whatever that may be.
And I think there's a lot of potential for great stories, and there's great characters, and I hate to see it wasted. Wow, look at that melee damage. Does extreme. I take it. And we still have time to start the assault, a final assault.
Though we're probably gonna have to wait a couple turns because I want to have all of my dudes, and then I also want to be able to have starting.
Yes. Though, did we lose the Chaos Sorcerer when he turned into, or did you pick the one that wasn't ours?
I picked the one that wasn't ours.
Alright.
It looks like we're waiting another turn, unless we want to attack here
I would.
for the Defiler or the Bulwark.
Well, since the Necrons are gone.
Do you?
But Necrons or Bulwark? What's Bulwark? Let's see what the Bulwark means. Let's take a look at it. It's gain control of production facilities, making defensive preparation easier. Reduce cost of garrisoning troops in provinces you control. Likewise, reduce the amount of planetary requisition covered from withdrawing those troops. I don't think that's very useful for them.
Also, before I'd attack there, I'd want to get this because they're Eldar. I gotta base rush them like immediately, or they get really annoying.
You mean like the
and
Tau
drag
or
out.
the Eldar?
The Eldar.
Yeah, we'll grab there.
Alright, let's attack.
Right. We'll build enough buildings in the Western Barrens to actually properly.
They'll have 2 bases?
They only have a 5 strength. Are annoyingly hard to dislodge because they are excellent at defending like that, as you saw last time.
Yeah, 1 base.
So while the Tau are irritating,
Sanity is
they're
for
just
the weak.
irritating. They're not.
Is the only true answer.
I do believe there is a key difference.
Chaos gods
Difference.
speak clearly now.
While we'll have to
Do you
we cannot have our revenge against the Necrons in this location,
We're here
we shall
for the
simply
dark
have our
gods.
revenge against the Necrons as a whole. In their really irritating last mission.
We will build it for you.
Which I almost hope someone else will do for us, but we all know that's not happening.
But of course, Master.
It's one of those missions where you wish you had a fast forward. Like in the video, you can just skip it. It's glorious. But we actually have to play it.
We're probably gonna do Necrons
We're
last,
here
to be
to
honest.
serve Master Orphit.
We
So
have
we
it.
have
But of
basically an
course,
army
Master.
when it begins.
Do you hear the voices too?
We're here to serve Master
I don't think
for
the Necrons
great
are
powers.
going to be defeated.
We
first.
hold it now.
I swear to you,
I
it
really
will
don't think
happen.
they were.
We will build it for you.
They seem like flying robots.
Of course.
But it wouldn't be a video game if someone wasn't trying to bum
Do
rush
you hear the voices too?
to the final boss at the very beginning of the game if they actually can. You know, test their manliness and all that.
Yeah. I mean, if they can actually defeat the final boss, kudos. We did
My
it.
life is forfeit.
Well, it depends what game you're playing. In this game, it's just kind of annoying.
yes.
And
We will
say
work
if you can fight the
faster.
final boss at the very beginning of Dark
Whatever
Souls,
you
that's
desire.
impressive.
Definitely.
Whatever
I
you
would
like, Lord.
start taking the whole southern part of the map now.
Guide me
Maybe an
wisely.
Inheritor or something. Maybe just
Enemies!
cast Space Marine.
We need enemies. The location will be ours. The objective is not lost on us. The location will be ours. The warp overtaking me. It is a good pain. It is as though 1,000 miles
What is that?
cry out in pain.
What is
There
it?
seems to be something next to your men. What is that?
Wait, what?
I saw stuff moving. Maybe just dust clouds. Or sneaky witch towel.
It is as though 1,000
Go
miles
ahead and
cry out in pain.
It's probably
Yes!
Sneaky Witch Tower, actually.
Do you
Wild
hear the
technical
voices
sorcery.
too? Yes!
Hiding with still fields
It is
instead of
as though
silent power.
1,000 miles cry out in pain.
Animals.
Sacrilege.
The objective is not lost on us.
I understand more than you could
Good
possibly
job,
know.
you're not stupid. Though they could have fooled
We
us.
have it now.
Tracking down their evil witch mages.
We need
We're
Yep.
here
Now
for the
what?
dark gods.
energy. We need energy. You like building your bases
We
based on that.
serve. We serve.
What's the purpose of it?
Yes.
Enlighten us.
Yes. We will work faster.
I don't know, I guess it's just a habit from Warcraft. You like to build the maps very, your bases very defensively.
My life
Very
is
strong attack.
forfeit. Anything for the great powers.
I see.
There are reasons, I'm sure. Reasons I couldn't lighten you enough. Which I'm going to.
We have
It's so you
captured a
can't
location.
have blade
My
masters
life is
or other such
forfeit.
things. You just run into your base.
Anywhere you like,
Doesn't
Lord.
really stop
As
zoom,
you
though.
wish.
We have it now.
That's because they don't come. That's because in Azeroth Wars your
Yes.
maps are.
We will work faster.
It's actually built. By the way, anyone who plays Warcraft out there,
We serve.
best,
But
in my
of
opinion,
course,
hands down,
Master.
best Warcraft YouTuber there is, the Azathan. Yeah.
We're huge fans. We also like Witty Warcraft.
Now
And
what?
if you want to see the single best Azeroth Wars player,
It's a hype
You,
custom map.
you go to Zoom, because he's got his channel. Fridays with Frozen Rip,
We have captured
Hilarious.
a location.
for people who've actually played the map. You,
Though they play the map, I'm sure they already know who Zoom is.
yeah. And Sonos is our mate, so Sonos, if you're hearing this,
Thanks, mate.
and Ashot and Morn, you guys are awesome. And you too, Frito. We love you, even though you're kind of a jerk. But you're our jerk.
My life
That
is
sounds gay.
forfeit.
It does, doesn't it? But he
We
still
rebuild
is.
it
It's
for
like,
you.
We have captured a location.
there's many Tman blades like it, but this is my blade. Even though it's crushing my
captured
face.
a location.
See? Look at that. He plays a mean yellow. And I, as a yellow player, gotta give him props. He's good.
With his explorers, who are much more devastating than you think they would be.
Yeah, I didn't actually know how good the explorers were until he side played.
My life is
Then he took two
forfeit.
players with a faction that was meant to be a team. Alone.
Yeah, but that was because that was like my first time playing.
Yeah, mine too. And there's both moves, and I'm not really good at judging. But I
That would have been very different if you were playing yellow and he was playing green. To be fair, he also never plays dark green.
yeah.
Do not trifle.
Dude, look at that.
Now what? You're dead.
There's Tao. Squishy and nothing there. My Gildan says, you are not prepared.
I feel the warp
I'm sorry, we're a
overtaking
gigantic
me.
Warcraft nerd.
It is a
Which we'll
good
be playing on the channel.
After this game, probably.
I think after Heroes of Might Magic.
We will build it for you.
No, dude, that's... We play that alongside
Thank you,
other
Master.
things. Because that's probably gonna be like
You hear the
legitimately
voices,
1,000
Yeah.
episodes
It's
series.
gonna. We're playing through all the campaigns, through all of the expansions.
Me. It is a good pain.
This video will probably go over the time limit by a few minutes,
Clearly now.
possibly. But if you've stuck around long enough through these first painful episodes, you'll realize it's kind of a stick with us. The timer's kind of a guideline. It's like the pirate code, you know. It's kind of it's guideline. It's not actually rules.
Or pirates, Sean.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, but they're pirates.
Yes.
Rules.
Am I the only person who thought that Johnny Depp made the movies?
It was okay.
Yeah.
My
That
life
number
is forfeit.
4 was a lot better than the others because it got
But
rid
of
of
course, Master.
Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley.
Well, I liked Orlando.
But
Yeah,
of
Orlando
course,
Bloom's a good
Master.
actor, but Keira Knightley. You know what it was? She's not a bad actress. It's just, I don't know. They played her out her character that in a way that didn't fit her character they'd established in the first one. The more tomboyish, you know, we'll take the sword and stab you with it.
Mm-hmm.
And Keira Knightley did a very good job with the character. It's just,
I don't like in the direction they took the actual character.
yeah, that's what I don't like. But props to Keira Knightley. She did a very good job. I actually like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I think the love story between Calypso and the Flying Dutchman, or the captain,
Yeah.
George Squidface,
Or Squidface.
that was really cool, actually. I thought that was amazing.
Meeting resistance.
Or is it?
The darker powers.
It explained the character motivation and everything.
That's probably
In this channel, when we play video games and talk about everything, regardless of whether or not it's actually part of corruption, compare the chaos, is it damaging them? Excellent, squishy tower. I don't think the crew are good enough to fight melee. Now, granted, this is on normal mode, where all the health is kind of where it should be.
Chain him.
I gotta tell you, even on easy mode, the Necron base. Wow, that's a pretty smart placement for stun. On the actual point. So everyone tries to take it stunned. The Tau have a pretty weak defense in this. I'm thinking when Ultimate Apocalypse comes out for the campaign, right? We should do that. We should do a let's play of that.
That's actually gonna be a thing.
Yeah, they're working on it. So whenever that comes out, we'll definitely check it out. I mean, I've played the Ultimate Apocalypse mod. I like it. I like it a lot. Playing the IG is extra fun because instead of you've got the conscript gods and all that. It's
Look at that melee.
get punched away out. The average guardsman has like a 20 to 24, I think. It's pretty low, right? They have no health, but they will outfight Tau.
In hand.
In hand-to-hand.
Please.
Which is pretty sad considering they're some of the weakest
The true
melee fighters in the
power
game.
is here.
When they were introduced in the first Dawn of War, they were the weakest in melee. But the Tau just take the cake.
Like, deep the cake.
Yeah. I don't like the direction they took the Tau. Originally, the Tau were supposed to be the newcomers, right? Still filled with hope and determination and like all the good things. Like the one kind of good faction, right? And I really like that because it makes sense. They're in the prime. There's no dark age for them. They can kind of emerge from it, unified, right?
But they
Still believe in the peace, love, and unity that they can do it. That'd make them dangerous, right? But now they make them all grimdark. They were supposed to be like, but not grimdark, because there was no reason for them to be grimdark. Because the entire point of the
There
grimdark.
was no chaos. There was no evil.
Yeah, they don't have a presence. Chaos really doesn't mean anything because their god don't make them hold on. And they still believe in the peace, love, and unity.
But they
Because they
decided that
unified
wasn't
properly.
dark enough, so they changed them.
I don't like that change. I liked that fact that they're doing.
See, that's what I was
original.
talking about in the last episode. Or maybe that was this episode. The,
Overtaking me.
the nihilism.
Mm-hmm.
See, that is the perfect example of the nihilism that I was on about.
Is the only true answer.
It would make sense that they would be the only faction, because every other faction is either, like, the orcs are warlike from their nature, but the human and Eldar have lost their empires. They had this glorious history and it's gone. They're both in the midst of a dark age. So it makes sense that they're in the grim darkness because they've lost so much in the dark during in dark ages. But the Tau haven't lost anything. They've gained more because they are recent. They're just kind of showing up on the stage. They don't have warp travel, but they're developing technology. They have psychic, so they don't have to do the warp. Everything for them is a shiny, bright, glorious future. And it makes sense because originally the greater good was for the greater good of the Tau. All the Tau, including other races that they added to the Tau. It was kind of like Star Trek Federation, which really added this kind of interesting dynamic to everything.
Because they were never
the
really...
undisputed. They were basically...
Because actually, you know who they ended up getting really along with? Chaos, a lot, actually. Them and Chaos never really seemed to have any problems, because...
Chaos never really had a reason to attack them, because they can't do anything. Chaos, I think, would be hostile toward them if they got between them and roles. But I think the reason they could be a dangerous competitor to the Empire, the Imperium itself, is because Imperial citizens would want to join Tau. Their guardsmen and regiments would turn dangerous to fight them. Right? It makes sense that Imperial system, you have to risk Imperial systems just straight up rebelling against the Empire and joining Tau and all that. It makes sense for there to be like converts and such. They'd become a real, serious, even with a small little empire, become a serious, huge threat. By, ironically enough, bringing hope back to a believer people.
Hope. I mean, hopeless people.
Yeah, and they should have stayed the noble, I guess they call it noble bright. They should have stayed like that because it makes sense for But then they changed them to be kind of retcon the ethereals into semi-psychic something that like control people. Instead of like this peaceful spiritual leaders.
Because people being not terrible people was just too much. What? He's not a terrible person with some sort of terrible end goal in mind, planning the downfall of somebody and something, because good people just can't exist?
My lord.
Yeah, I much prefer Tau being the noble, because it made sense because they don't have a dark age. They're in the middle of their golden age because they're expanding. They're developing new technology.
Forfeit.
They're getting somewhere.
They're doing more than they've ever done before. They've never charted that. It's never been charted for them.
This is never something that they've lost and are reclaiming.
Or trying to. It's not like the Imperium, which had the library burned down. They tried to put the books, right? But then they got, that burned down too. So they lost even more. So they only have fragments of fragments. Like the Imperium. Where technology is an iron grip of somebody, where they're too terrified to research because of the threat of demons. Where they're too afraid to move. Where the massive sprawling bureaucracy has choked the life out of entire systems. They've entered the Dark Age. They're stagnant. They're not doing anything.
Gone limp.
Yep. The only thing keeping them up is the bravery of, the good IG generals and Space Marines that are douches. I think the real strength of the Ultramarines is not just their codex, it's their moral character. Because in the Space Marine game, the main hero is a super good guy. He's extremely devoted to helping people, to helping the Imperium. He inspires the guardsmen to fight. It's people like that who are holding up the stagnating Imperium. And it doesn't... Oh, this time. it doesn't fit the grim dark aspect to have people like that. But they do have people like that. So that's where I kind of get confused. Because if they're aiming for grim darkness, then there shouldn't be people like that. It kind of contradicts the very premise. You know?
Yeah.
Possibly no.
I can see why the Ultramarines are like the creator's favorite. I know they've got a lot of flavor to them, but honestly, I think it's kind of a shame they don't flesh out more of the Space Marine factions. I mean, we've got the Blood Raiders. They have the last Primarch and the hints that the Logar is their Primarch.
Yeah, but there's other Space Marine factions too, I think.
The Space Wolves, who are renowned to be famous among guardsmen, popular, right? Protectors of the people, even went to blows with the Inquisition over worlds to not start wrestling.
What are we talking about?
The Space Wolves.
Yeah.
They've gone to blows with the Inquisition and like the Grey Knights because they refused to turn on the guardsmen who fought demons with them. Because it was shameful and cowardly, and it was the exact opposite of protecting the Imperium. Because that's the stuff they're protecting the Imperium.
What a very chaos thing to do.
I know, right?
But not even chaos thing to do. Because chaos doesn't do that.
Chaos wants as many people as possible to know they exist.
No, because chaos rewards success.
The ancient powers of chaos.
Yeah. You got the Salamanders. Who are very fire-based, and they have this thing against the Dark Eldar. Right? You got the Ultramarines. Not the Ultramarines, sorry. What are they called? Crimson Fist? Dark, you got like the Dark Angels, Black Stars. Who else? My Space Marine knowledge is kind of lacking when it comes to things off the top of my head. But you have all these different chapters and branch chapters, right? That should be fleshed out, especially things like the primary Space Wolves. They should be as fleshed out as the Ultramarines, because each one is unique. They're all from different worlds, and those worlds flavored, because that's where they got the recruits. That's where the Primarchs came from. Because each of the Primarchs were raised on different worlds.
Sanity is for the weak. We will strip the flesh from their bones.
There's all sorts of things that can be fleshed out. They don't seem to be fleshing it out, and I think that's a shame. They could do some real wonders. Some of the writers for Warhammer did real good with the world building.
We talked about the Catan, now let's talk about the Necrons as they currently exist.
The Necrons, as they currently exist...
Chaos! Consume us! Enemies! We need enemies.
Well, they seem to... They're still driven by, I think, the Shards of the Deceiver and other lesser Catan who survive the destruction to feed them. And they get... Every so often, some adventurer will go to a tomb world, or perhaps a world like this that's been, life has regrown there. Whether because humanity colonized it or someone else did, and they awake them by accident. They dig somewhere they're not supposed to. They start mining, and they dig it up, and then they awaken, and the Catan have them continue their goal, using the planets as launching points across the galaxy.
No, I feel like it would be in the Catan's not actually their best interest to eat everything.
It'd be their best interest
Because the Deceiver is smart.
to conquer.
No. The Deceiver is smart, so he knows if you eat everything, then no other life is going to exist, and that meal might have been nice, but now it was your last meal.
Chaos is our master. Chaos is our
I feel like the Deceiver would be smart enough to know, yes, let's eat, but like, you know how they say in some of the stuff that they would eat even like the molecular creatures on molecular level. I don't feel like the Catan would do that, not because they don't believe in mass genocide, but because if you eat all of it, then all of it is gone and none of it will ever come back.
Right. It's kind of like my necromancer lord principle. If you're a necromancer and you raise armies of the dead, it's in your best interest not to kill everyone, but to conquer them and expand the population as much as possible. Because the more living people there are, the more dead people there will be. The more dead people there will be, the more men you can raise. See? Living people make dead people. And living people make more living people, which will then make more dead people. Creating an endless cycle for you to eternally raise armies.
It is as though 1,000 mouths cry out in pain.
Yeah, for some of the lore that makes sense. Like I can see the Tyranids trying to eat everything. For the most part, they don't seem very smart. No. Even their Leviathan minds don't seem Titan level intelligent. But they seem more like space focused. And while there's a lot of them, they're very scary creatures. And they do get stopped by an organized push.
So I have a question. Who do you think copied who? Do you think it was the Tyranids copied the Zerg or the Zerg copied?
I think, from what I've gathered, StarCraft originally was going to be a whatever title, but they couldn't get the license for it, so they made their own thing. But the Zerg are actually unique enough in their own right to not use carbon copies of Tyranids.
No, they're not, but they're very
close. But then again, Warhammer Fantasy is basically carbon a nihilist version of, local. Even the name. You're fighting in the Agmar Desert. I mean, we got references all.
What do you like?
Agmar. It makes you feel like he was actually there at one point. It makes you think that Agmar would lead the Necrons. Wouldn't it make sense? Or maybe Dark Elf. He'd lead something. I don't think it'd be Chaos so much.
Oh no, I think I could see him go for Chaos. I could not see him go for Dark Elf. Not chance.
No.
They're too
frivolous.
They kill me too much.
Yeah, if you kill the Ethereal, they're on the big hit down. I don't know why the crew I don't know why the crew would be effective, but I definitely could see the Tau being effective. Honestly, it seems kind of weird there's no human units on this planet, because there's plenty of humans who join Tau, because the big thing is that Tau have a tendency to gather support for themselves, right?
Yeah.
And I don't see any, like, guardsmen Tau, or human big Tau military tech. Because they would supplement their forces with the locals.
Oh, it looks like their main
Take
base
us
is-
to battle. We must kill.
Probably should have replaced that Predator.
Yes, come to our channel to hear about nitpicking lore. Pointing out contradictions. And talk about what we would like, or what we would do. Or at least what we think would make a good story.
We see the target.
You know? What logic would make sense.
Way to hell.
The game of military conquest, there's a whole lot of genocide, which, in the end, ultimately, it does not a good empire make. Because it does not matter how much you conquer if everyone is dead.
Because then you have lots of empty space.
Plus, the strength of the people that you just killed is now wasted. See, the troops you can use as your melee fighters. They seem to be easy enough to woo over to your side. Kind of like Ogwins. The Tau did somehow. Offer Tau on a world you conquer. Have them show you. Obviously, the Tau don't have to worry about demon possessing the technology, right? And with slight modifications.
But when it comes down to it, in my opinion, it seems like Chaos is the most likely factor to win, because Chaos is very open in reality.
Yes, they might be evil, but they keep expanding.
Though evil is kind of a hard term for Chaos
At least for Warhammer.
because they're not even really. I mean, because the Imperium does worse things than they do.
They kind of do equal numbers of bad things. Sacrifices, mass killings, genocide. But in my opinion, there should be more options. Like, say, Lucas should have, when he conquers the Tau, have an option. To curry favor with the Tech Priest, he can capture Tau, right? Because he has now Planet 4, honestly. He can, with slight modifications, Tau technology, because it doesn't have the threat of demons in it, it can be made proper.
In the end, though, I will never tell you, I only actually researched the Bloodthirster because it's very cool to have it fly in and land right in front of the enemy base right before it explodes.
Right, we will be, after this turn, cutting the episode, though, because the time's run out, about now,
We will
and
see
we
you
will see you
guys next time.
in the next part. Bye!